A strange, metallic spaceship floats through a black starscape. Its shape is that of an elongated, octagonal gazebo, metallic paneling reflecting the thick velvet blanket of the Milky Way. It appears to be floating, dead in the water. Inside, there's a slight click and a whirring of tiny fans as a screen lights up in the darkness. Its blue text reads, Start. Log 2. Location, SS Lantern. Time since departure, 2276 Earth days. All systems normal. Power core, 96%. Booting systems. The lights in the cabin flicker on, illuminating a cramped interior. 2 seats near the front window are surrounded by countless buttons and dials as the cockpit's switchboards light up. A low pulsing emanates through the cabin as the engine comes back online, shrouding the entire vessel in a magical teal glow. The computer screen flashes again, and an image of a bald woman appears. She wears a sharp suit and stands on a wooden podium. Dozens of national flags waving majestically behind her. She looks human in every way, except her nose is elongated and appears to be made of metal, fused with her face. She addresses the audience and the nations watching. People of the world, new humans. The signal from space that hit Earth 70 years ago mutated us. We have learned through our conflicts and our treaties that this unprecedented change is not a curse, but an opportunity. The powers which have appeared in humans across our planet have shown us that dreams can become reality, and magic is real. In the name of exploration, camaraderie, and the future of the human race, the Pulse Project began. This multinational initiative provides us with a chance to heal old wounds and discover our future together. Since the SS Pulse's return, our discovery of entire societies across space, we have band together and created the Interstellar Explorers of Earth Alliance. Our mission? To discover new life, to open diplomatic relations with new societies, and expand our map beyond Earth's atmosphere. The display flashes again, cutting off her speech. Blue text sprays across its black screen again. Approaching brown dwarf system AT-57. Habitable planet detected. Engaging thrusters. Initiating wake-up protocol. Welcome, viewers, to our one-shot inside the setting of Pulse. I am so excited to be your game master this evening. Thank you for your time. We have a wonderful cast here that I'm going to have introduce themselves briefly so we can jump right back into this thing, starting with Diamond.
Hiya. My name is Diamond. You can find me everywhere on social media at Madness Diamond. I use they, she pronouns, and either is fine.
David?
You're muted, David.
The mute gods have been appeased.
David was having audio problems earlier, so fighting a battle.
In that case, Kay.
Hey, well, I am Kay Purcell. I use she and they pronouns. You can find me across the internet at KDamPhyr, KAYDAMPHYR, or in chat right now as Chaotic Wholesome Presents.
Am I transmitting now? Okay. Hi, I'm David, the other half of Chaotic Wholesome. You can find me at Full Rubber Ducky, but instead look for me at Chaotic Wholesome Presents because that's where I will be.
Awesome. So, we will dive back in after the ship has just landed. The alien planet before you as you emerge from the cockpit is, well, alien. It seems very vibrant. All of the colors are wrong, though. The sky is purple, the grass is blue, the trees are orange. It feels like you're living your life right now through some sort of strange filter. You recognize most of the shapes, though. You can see something that looks like a normal grass that you would see on Earth, just the wrong color. The trees are clumped together off to one side, making a clear forest scape. And you can see the dirt, fortunately, is still brown. It seems like brown is the constant between this strange new planet and your home. And as you emerge from the cockpit, one by one, I will have you please describe your characters. First will be Kay. What does your character look like as they step onto new soil for the first time?
Well, it's less of a step and more of a bound. Cuss is this androgynous figure with long blonde hair. It's a little bit matted, really needs to be brushed more, but someone just can't be bothered. They would probably stand a little under 6 feet, but they stoop. They don't quite walk on all fours, but there's a definite hunch, and you can see if they're moving quickly, they do sometimes go down onto all fours. They have large hands that end in clawed fingers and are decently traditionally attractive, but just everything is a little bit exaggerated. Everything's just a little bit feral, as these just piercing sea green eyes just sweep the landscape and their nose starts twitching as they sniff the air.
Immediately behind, as you realize that your ward, as it were, is off a leash and about to bound into a strange new landscape, David, please describe what your character looks like as they emerge from the ship.
My character is shortish, about 5'4", and wearing basically an orange coverall that has parts burnt out of it. Like there's just stood too close to the pan of frying bacon repeatedly, and has metallic hands, and the left leg is metallic and cybernetic, and has one cybernetic eye that doesn't really fit the motif of the face, and has a pair of glasses over them, and is just scurrying after the person that has launched into an all fours like Tigger jump, going, oh no, wait, hold on, and is sort of glumping after them.
And as our first two crew members start bounding away from the ship, the both of them, our third emerges at last. Diamond, what does your character look like?
Renaissance, or you can call them Rainy. Renaissance is about 5'10", mostly looks humanoid, except a giant patch of their face is missing, where you can see below it golden cybernetics and beeping buttons and things, and almost as if a LED screen is short-circuiting, trying to make up the other part of the face in color theory, but failing to and flickering in and out. They have completely white eyes with no pupil, only white scleras, and every now and again the same color features will pop in and out on their eyes as well to mimic. And they are wearing very simple clothes. It's mostly just a black jumpsuit made for exploratory travel, and with a very ostentatious choice of jewelry and these giant brass rings on their fingers and very daintily done nails. And they just kind of just follow after their two crewmen, very intrigued on the dynamic between these two.
So none of you have had a whole lot of time to get to know each other. You kind of woke up as the ship was coming into the atmosphere, and you're just now emerging. You didn't even really get to know each other before you went into cryosleep for the journey. So as as Cuss bounds into the alien wilderness, is anyone like yelling or shouting at each other? Is there any communication happening at all between these three?
It's much more of like my character Quentin Yeardley. Quentin is saying at Cuss, "Oh my God, slow down, hold on, come back. You're supposed," but not very loud, and he's really just talking to himself, like ostensibly talking to himself. Just oh no, just wait, hold on, wait.
And Cuss, are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just kind of running?
It's kind of like running, what catches the attention, what seems fun, what seems interesting. So like just a full-on like lope forward, and then like sudden skid turn, the back half spins around, goes off towards something over here, and then something else catches their eye, so they stop and spin around again. And it's kind of that like kitten puppy energy, just like I've been cooped up, there's cool stuff, probably going to get into something they really shouldn't, but they don't care.
Well, we'll see. I'm going to have Cuss make the first check of the game to see what you find in this new landscape. So in Sagas, when I ask for a check, you'll look at your character sheet, determine whether anything could apply to this, and if it does, it'll tell you what kind of die to roll, and if nothing applies, you get to roll a d10.
Okay, so I know I have keen sense.
I believe it was with smell specifically. Right?
Yes.
That would definitely apply,
this...
especially since... Go ahead.
Yeah, this says we use a D8, which is smaller than a D10. So is it both, or is it...
It is just the smaller one. Sagas is a roll low system. You want a 1.
Gotcha. Okay. That is a 1. I have rolled 3 natural 1s today now. And this is the first one I wanted.
Amazing. You notice literally everything. You've never smelled so many new smells all at once before. There's flowers over here, something rotting over there. But the interesting thing is, most of these smell sort of like nature, like something natural, dirt, plants, decay. But there's one that smells like... It smells like something metallic in the air. You can almost taste it. And it's that way.
I think Cuss has been like, run over here, dig something up, like grabs a flower, smells it, and is like, nope, that's not it, throws it away, and is like bouncing all around, and then finally like focuses it, and they come out, the eyes, sea green, are huge, these cat-slitted pupils just expand out, and they spin around back to Yarvin, and are like, Quentin, and just spin around and like leap at him. Maybe just full on, or maybe Quentin has time to like take a step back, but it's a close thing.
It would be very much like arms out being like, oh no, and then the leap happens, and then arms out, oh no. It did very much like a Shaggy and Scooby sort of thing of just like lands on me, and then I'm just holding them. And
That's
also
just
confused.
Right in Quentin's face. Everything's natural. what over there is metal.
It is upon this scene that Rennie finally catches up.
I think I'm gonna use my hearing that something over there is metal or metallic. I'm gonna use my own keen sense, but my keen sense is for vision to see maybe if I get something a little bit different. I got a 2.
That's also very good. You immediately, once Cuss points that direction, you notice a trail of smoke disappearing into the sky over there.
I think there might be a fire that way. Do you smell a fire? Do you smell? Does fire smell metal? I can't smell anything, so
Yeah, do I smell burning wood, or do I just smell like...
It's metallic. As you are focusing on it, I'll let this this critical success carry over. There you can now, as you think about it, it smells like burning, and it's like a gas fire.
burning. It's not wood. Let's check it out. And does like the cat twist in Quentin's arms, just like the flailing limbs, and is suddenly on the ground and is going.
Definitely galumphing after. Yeah, absolutely. just more like, as far as anyone concerned, Quentin's entire vocabulary is, oh no, oh no.
You Cuss, at the most excited and probably the fastest, you get there first. And you see, your ship is like way over there. This one looks like it did not land properly. It crashed here. There's this huge gouge in the dirt behind you, and it is a ship, almost exactly the same as yours. That's that steepled sort of hexagonal prism shape. And you can hear. You see like one of the thrusters on the back is still on fire and sputtering. And that is what's causing the smoke and causing this gas burning smell to rise into the air. And you can hear a pounding from the inside.
Cuss is going to stop, take all this in, which is narratively my giving the other two a chance to catch up, because probably about the time they catch up, Cuss is making for that door, gonna let who's ever in there out, because this seems bad. And I want y'all to have a chance to object to that if you so desire.
Nope. I would
Great.
definitely go straight towards that after Cuss.
I'm following right behind.
So all three of you, your priority is getting inside this ship or opening this ship, right?
I'm just curious.
Less getting inside, more opening.
Okay. What are each of you doing towards that end?
So, you know how people punch buttons on things too hard? Like, if you've ever seen like an old person just punch the absolute shit out of their cell phones, and it's like it's a touch screen, not a jab screen. Like, he's at the door controls doing that with like metallic hand, just chunk, trying to like figure out the button presses to get the door open, despite just getting off of a similar ship.
Cuss is very
go
helpfully
ahead.
scratching at the door.
Both of you, please make checks. Scratching at the door is going to be a little bit higher difficulty to try to get this thing open.
Okay.
What about Rennie?
Can I try to covertly hack this door open if there's still energy connected to it? Rennie wants to make it look like Quentin totally opened it, because they think Quentin needs this win.
Go ahead and all right, everybody make your checks.
And so I'm rolling a D8, right?
D10 is the base die. I don't know what you
D10.
have to make it a D8, but if you do,
Okay.
then yes.
I rolled a D10, and that is an 8.
All right.
So yeah.
So we see Rennie going around the backside of the ship because you're kind of familiar with how these things are designed, and you know that there's another access panel on the opposite side, and you go around there and quickly pull up the touch screen and like tap it with several fingers all at once. Meanwhile, Quentin is just ding, 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 and you crack the screen with your metal finger. And as you crack the screen, the door opens up.
Quentin immediately, both hands in the air. It's like, I got it.
Yeah, Cuss sticks a head in, is looking around, trying to see who's banging.
And you see trapped underneath some like fallen equipment is a single hand. It looks like a human hand just banging on the metal and trying to like grab something and pull itself out.
Someone's
Like
stuck.
Oh, okay. So like a hand that's like connected to a person, and not just like
it looks like there's a person underneath this stuff.
Oh, okay, okay.
David, you've played too many horror games. I could see.
Right. I was like, disembodied hand. That's fine.
So Cuss, go ahead and make a check to. You're trying to pull this person out.
I'm trying to like dig stuff off of them.
Okay. Make a check.
It's another 3.
You very easily just, with your adrenaline pumping as it usually is, you just like heave this stuff to the side. It looks like papers go flying everywhere. There's a shower of sparks as something heavy metal hits the inner side of the ship. And crawling out from underneath this, you see it. It's really funny that you thought this was a disembodied hand at first, because what crawls out is not a disembodied hand, but an entire arm connected at the shoulder to a ball of other arms. There's about 20 arms sticking off of this single mass. Maybe, and it like lifts itself up. It's maybe like, if it reached towards the sky, maybe 3 feet tall. And as it like lifts itself up, it's not making any noise. It doesn't appear to be able to breathe. But it's sort of like, you can see some of the arms are damaged. It looks like maybe that finger is swollen, might be broken. But 3 or 4 hands all at once just thumbs up.
Thumbs up. And then I swat it.
It writhes backwards and like does several of the hands go to claws, and a couple on the bottom are fists winding up.
Yeah, just unfazed, gets too close and starts sniffing.
I'm not sure Quentin will have noticed the ball of hands yet, because he's still just outside celebrating his win. Like, he's like, and he's saying to himself, yes, you did a good thing, you didn't break it. You can do this. You can do this, Quentin. Everything's gonna work out, it's fine. Good. But also, too many horror games? Disembodied hand?
I think you'll rather click here. Hands, lots of hands. Hands, lots of hands.
And it immediately, all the hands just start like scratching you underneath the chin, behind the ear.
Complete flop, belly up.
And this absolute horror of a creature begins giving you scritches.
Yeah, very happy back foot going.
And
Just
that
flop.
is the scene you see as you walk around at this side of the ship, Rennie.
I think Rennie's just looking in and just like taps the side of their head a couple of times. Quentin will hear just basically what sounds like the dial of a radio being tuned. And then they land and they're like, oh, yeah, this one will do. And then walk in and just say, Cuss, did you find a friend?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Well, lovely to meet you. And we'll just kind of wave at the thick hands. You all right then? Thumbs up? Side to side? All right. That's nice.
It
Quentin.
stops rubbing stops rubbing Cuss's belly and begins crawling out, but it's more of a roll. It like grabs the ground and pulls itself forward. And it rolls out into the grass, and it sort of gives you all a
Quentin
Has
will
Quentin
follow
noticed
the
this yet?
Quentin has finally noticed and is just like celebrating win, looks over. These hands aren't hostile. Squeaks out an oh no, and then like backs up a little bit.
Right about then, Cuss comes bounding towards it, grabs the edge of your lab coat in their teeth, and just goes running after.
And dragged mercilessly to the hands. No idea what to do, so just grabs one and shakes it. But again, like dumb cybernetic metallic hand maybe squeezed a little too hard. Vigorous shake.
You are very surprised because the the hand returns that firm grasp with equal strength. You're used to accidentally squeezing too hard, but this hand can take it. And it doesn't look any tougher than any of the other hands. They're pretty uniform.
I don't know what to do with that. Like that's it's but it's like a good I don't usually it's a panicked I don't know what to do with that, but now it's like a good I don't know what to do with that, but still in the I don't know section.
The hand starts scribbling in the dirt, and you realize that it is writing English words. It says, "Hi, I am Dr. T."
The letter T, I assume the letter T and not like TEA or some other.
Period.
And then I would just under the period I would write the other part of an I, and then write out Tiberius with a question mark. And even though this thing has demonstrated that it could hear, I would now be like writing in the dirt with the hand.
It's sort of like it does a face palm, but it looks weird because it doesn't have a face, so it just kind of and it crosses out the Tiberius and writes out Thelonious.
That I would write, haven't heard of you. Are you a good doctor?
And underneath that says, very. Also, you can just talk.
I'm sorry. Because he'd write under it, I thought we were talking.
and is gonna write under that, never mind. And it scrawls in the dirt again. How did you get here?
More in the dirt, and then also like I'm not like it's not like paragraph. I'm wiping out whatever I wrote and then like writing like fresh. Um, same ship, less crashing.
Lucky. ...
And then like I would look at Cuss, I would look at Renaissance, and then I would say, so how do you get a doctorate when you're all hands? Like, how does the schooling work?
Well, at that point, you'd look at Cuss, and there is no Cuss because people were writing, not talking, so has gone to explore the ship.
Okay, make a check to see what you find in the ship. So this correct question ends up being directed at Renaissance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah, I would look up, panic, and be like, "There's no Cuss," but also very fixated on this like schooling thing. So
Mhm.
like Renaissance, like clue me in.
I think you see them tap the side of their head again, and they're. Can I try to use recall to recall anything historically about a Doctor?
Yeah.
Thalanus?
Doctor that's just hands.
Dr. T. Because the hands wrote out their full first name, right? Or their full doctorate name.
Dr. Dr. Thelonious.
Thelonious. A 4.
You have heard of a doctor that was just hands. And it was actually kind of like a wave when it appeared, because there's ever since like the pulse that mutated the human race, there have been the regulations for what some people can and can't do have been just like completely everywhere, because some people like this guy don't have faces anymore.
Mhm.
And it appears like this guy is or used to be human. He has human genetics within him, and isn't from this planet. He clearly came here in the same manner that you did. And you remember you read an article once about this crazy good surgeon that didn't need sleep and could hold all his own tools. And the only it was an article about how he managed to get through all of his medical schooling and get to where he is without ever needing any aids or assistance, because he has so many hands. He doesn't need them. He wouldn't be able to communicate with them anyway. You're guessing that this is the guy.
What Quentin hears is whenever the tapping on the side of the exposed face stops, you hear basically a historical iteration of that information. Basically, like reading off somebody's certifications. Like if you were to Wikipedia somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Love it.
then and it's all in a very like robotic-esque voice, and then it turns back into one of Renaissance's voice, because you know that sometimes whenever they tap the side of their head, it's to change the voice module to what is easier to be perceived, and it just levels out. It's just like, oh, okay, this one will work now. Good to meet you, Doctor. You're apparently a surgeon. You did
One
good
hand
work.
shakes your hand, the other one gives a thumbs up.
Yeah. Quentin dear, this one's they're a surgeon. They're from Earth, it looks like. The pulse happened and it changes people. So, but you're still people. Very qualified people, if that. Did you come here by yourself? Do you have a crew?
Gives a thumbs down.
Oh.
So while Renaissance is talking, Quentin will be writing the most non sequitur questions in the dirt. And obviously like this will continue until like someone else moves the plot along, but like hey, since you're a doctor, I have this one chemical burn that isn't healing properly. And then like right underneath it is like so my middle toe feels like my second toe and my second toe feels like a middle toe. Is that something you can fix? And then like asking about like a specific like surgery procedure that was patented like 200 years ago that Quentin for some reason has an opinion about. And it just dumb question after dumb, nothing to do with the crash, nothing to do with why you are all hands, nothing to do with like other, just everything except what Quentin probably should be focused on.
I think Renaissance just taps Quentin on the shoulder and says, Quentin, where's your little companion?
Camera
Panic on
immediately
his face.
switches. There's just panic, and then camera switches back inside the ship. All right. What did Cuss get for investigating the ship?
You will not believe this. And it's a
No
different
way.
dice. The dice are telling a story. Cuss sees all. It was another nat 1.
Amazing.
The last one was a white dice. This was the blue dice.
So just a quick reminder in case, I know this isn't the best time to remind you, but how Sagas works, you all have the ability to help and combo with each other. Help is more applicable outside of combat. Basically, you spend 2 effort, and you can give someone an extra die on their roll, and you take the lowest one, sort of like advantage, or I guess disadvantage in D&D. But you can stack that. So if there's one really, really important roll and someone has a ton of effort, they can help, and give 3 extra dice. As long as they have the effort to spend, of course. But you don't need that, because you got another natural 1, somehow. Don't ask me how. This is a statistical anomaly.
The zoomy eyes. The zoomy eyes!
There were a ton of papers that got thrown across the interior of the ship as you were trying to get Dr. Thelonious out from underneath everything. And you start rifling through those, and you real quick take in a bunch of information. And with a 1, you find your own, like a dossier on you, and another one on Renaissance, and another one on Quentin. And you're not the only 3 in here. This is like dozens and dozens and dozens of people. Just like information about you, your blood type, specifications about your mutation, your birthday, everything.
Yeah, Gus sits there with a very confused look for a long moment, kind of just, it takes a little extra time for them to process, which should be normal things for other people. And it's just like, and it's gonna scoop up the 3 of ours, fold them up, jam them like into their pants, because they don't necessarily have pockets. And instead of going straight to the people who probably need this, it's just gonna take a couple laps around the ship and just kind of check everything out and give everyone time to finish chatting. And then once curiosity is sated, gonna come kind of trotting back and just appear beside Quentin, just standing, looking very innocent.
Yeah, like panic, oh no, like looking in the direction of the ship, of the door, and it's like, oh, cusses, and then turns and cusses there. And it's like, oh, There you are. And then continuing like the inane questions in the dirt. Even though the doctor can hear you. Also, if you're all hands, how do you hear? Like and that's a David question, not a Quentin question.
How is he reading what you're writing?
That is a Quentin question.
The hands take a while to look through everything, like all dozen questions that you've written in the dirt, and it sort of like rolls slowly next to them, and then at the bottom, just writes a single word in the dirt underneath all of the questions: magic.
As this is going on, watching, the doctor roll across the thing, will tug at the back of Renaissance's jumpsuit. Tug, 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 tug. And then just
Leans
push
down.
the papers, still folded up, and then just go bound away looking for something to do.
Thank you, Cuss.
Renaissance has been anointed the captain of this ship.
Yeah.
The only one with a brain.
Congrats, you're the responsible one.
I am usually in games. The mantle does follow me. I think Renaissance just like calls after Cuss, just thanking them. It's like such a strange, feral individual. Why is my name on this? And opens it up and starts reading it.
And you start reading it all the way through. Cuss didn't take a lot of time to sit and read. Just saw names, photos, information, and said, "Oh, I know these people." Collect. You're
Sees all,
taking
does not
your
process
time
all.
with this. Yeah. Go ahead and make a check to see what you can glean from these packets.
And if we don't have a skill in it, it's just a D10, right?
Right.
Okay, sure. That is a 5.
First and foremost, this is sus as hell. I mean, like, you don't remember giving this information away.
Mm-hmm.
You remember being contacted and offered a large sum of money to go on a scouting mission. Didn't end up asking too many questions because that was a lot of zeros. And you ended up here. And reading further into this, it's detailing reasons why each of you would not make a good fit with the society you were living in at the time.
Well, that's a little
Feral, rambunctious, has a history of breaking other people's property, does not show any indication of remorse or sorrow over said property. Loose-minded, not a good fit for most research labs. Under Renaissance, it was yours details your learning through art as a failed experiment.
Rude.
I think she's just gonna tap Quentin on the back of the head with his own file. Because you're bent down and writing in the dirt.
Yep.
correct?
Yeah. Just
It's very much
just scribble
the-
it.
And then just
And I would like
hands.
stop, finish whatever inane question I had, and then turn and then grab the thing and be like, "Oh," and then see my name and get very excited, sit on the ground and start reading. And then as I'm reading, Quentin's face just gets like sadder and sadder and sadder, and continues to mumble to himself, "I I thought that person liked me. Like they were so nice. What? And like his heart is breaking. He starts to like cry a little bit, and he then he gets up, walks like 5 steps away, and then sits with his back to everyone and just pouts while he continues reading the thing.
Dr. Thelonious rolls up to you and taps you on the shoulder, grabs you in sort of a comforting way, as comforting as a ball of hands can be. And from underneath where 2 of its arms were clasped together, it hands you a 4th folder.
And so 4th
it
folder
is
goes behind. Quentin's still reading, puts his arm around the doctor, and is like, "Do you see here? He said that this lab accident was my fault. It's not my fault that they put this. I didn't know this was reactive with this. Okay, and like no one died this time. Like only half of the lab got, and then just yeah, and it's just like commiserating with the ball of hand.
A hostage ball of hands.
And Thelonious slowly grabs the 4th folder out, places it on top, and opens it up, and you can see a picture of Dr. Thelonious, the ball of hands, Thelonious B. Thatch, and it's detailing all of the mistakes that he's made throughout his career, all the people that he couldn't save, essentially.
And as Quentin is reading this, he's like, "They're mean to you too," and then he starts like crying a little bit harder. And then like as he's
Big
reading through it,
ol'
he's like
12-arm
right.
hug.
And points and stuff, is like, "This doesn't seem fair. This doesn't look like it was your fault." And it's just very much like, and then like slides the other folder up, and then is like pointing at different things. It's like, see, we have this in common. Like, you know, like I may not have as many hands, but at this point I've had like 4, 5, because this, and then like starts going into this really random tangent about how got the left cybernetic arm, and then there was another lab accident, and even though the cybernetic hand was supposed to be relatively impervious, that got blown off, and so they got a more impervious one, except it had like less tactile use and whatnot, and is just, and doesn't realize that he started talking to the doctor rather than writing in the dirt.
And Doctor is a great listener.
Probably a great listener up until Lucas just slams into the both of them, feeling sadness. It's like, pounce, we all feel better now.
Heart.
And Renaissance, you're seeing all of this happen, and you can feel the ghosts of these same emotions well up in you, but there's one question in your mind that just won't go away. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why were you sent here? What is the purpose behind this expedition? And you still don't have any real clues to answer that yet.
I think they just, like, they're watching this entire scene unfold, also still flipping through their own file. They've decided to wait to give Cuss that file, just in case there's a similar reaction. Didn't know Quentin couldn't take constructive criticism, even if it was a little harsh. Not wanting to ruin somebody's day anymore. And just starts thinking about, like, from what they saw on Quentin's file, and then the paging through Dr. T's file, and then also like own, are all of these just like getting the sense of, you don't fit what we like, you don't get to sit at our lunch table anymore kind of vibe, or is it more malicious?
It's Make a check.
Okay. It's gonna be a 1.
Oh. You finally find the similarity between all these files, not just the organization. You finally find something a line at the bottom, at the end of every single one of these that you've seen. And it is highlighted in red, and it says relocation recommended. It's not necessarily a you don't get to sit with us. Whatever's happening is very intentional. There are a lot of very smart people with a lot of money and no morals behind this. That's the kind of vibe you're getting.
Think they're gonna just tap one of the hands of Dr. T and just like sit down also on the ground, and it's a little bit like, all right, which way does this go? Okay. And just leaning over and just saying, so were you also relocated with others as well? Thumbs up, thumbs down, so. Are they alive? All right, that's what I was a little bit afraid of. Cuss?
Yeah.
So, that's it. Well, not to not interrupt, but I am interrupting. But Cuss did like a thorough like circumnavigation of the wreckage of the ship. Was there any sign of like other bodies, like facilities for a ship built for more than one person, other signs of usage, like any indication that there were multiple people here?
I'm gonna have Lucas make that check.
I assume I can use my D8 since I can try and sniff out people.
Yes, absolutely. See if there's any lingering sense.
3.
It's not a 1. Amazing.
Not a 1. It's not a. Hey, this is my second 3. I always roll low, so this is great.
You're gonna love
It is
this
true.
system, let me tell you.
Yeah.
David knows how often. We won't.
Kay
we won't
can
talk
find a
about the
1 on a
time.
D20 better than anyone else.
We won't talk about the time. It's 6 tries and I couldn't get above a 5.
Well, you still didn't get above a 5, and that's a good
Yeah.
thing.
It's a good thing.
There is a lingering scent, just one.
Hmm.
And you must not have noticed it before because it didn't look like footprints. It didn't look like handprints either. But now you're noticing a slight trail of maybe like motor oil is the scent. And the trail itself is very strange. It looks like someone took a broom and swept the dirt.
Yeah, I think like looking around, sniffing, looking around, looking confused, and then we'll just like point. And then like scruff up the dirt to show that that's what happened, then point. And like is not being verbal, but is very much like explaining.
At this point, Dr. Thelonious is going to write in the dirt. You can talk. I can still hear you when you speak. Now that this is a second person trying to communicate non-verbally when they don't need to.
There's just a blink, and it's like, this is more fun.
And the doctor is going to start following that trail, following your lead as you go further into the woods.
Yeah. I do think Cuss will look to Renaissance and say, "There's more files, but something's this way." And unless told to wait, we'll head off.
Gus, why don't you take Quentin with you? Quentin, look, Cuss is moving. You can help. You can
And
do
then,
good,
like,
buddy.
Folders, cuss, folders, cuss.
I'm gonna take the folders. I'll keep them safe. It's okay. We can talk about these later. We can make a whole bulletin board. You can make conspiracy lines with yarn. It's all right, friend. Go on. Have fun.
Wait, you scrapbook too?
Yes. Totally.
And then it's like, hey, cuss, you can't wander off. And again, not loud enough for like people to hear, but more to himself. And starts like chasing after Cuss in the general direction of the ball of hands and Cuss moving in that direction.
Mm-hmm. And you all continue walking after this ball of hands into the forest. And it is actually not long before I'm gonna say everybody make a perception check as you look out for whatever might be leaving this trail or other dangers on this alien planet. When I say perception check, I mean check. I play too much D&D.
Super fair. All right,
Yeah.
that's a D10, right?
Unless you got something that says otherwise.
Checking.
We match.
Wins!
I do have keen sense vision.
Absolutely would apply.
Nice.
Okay. And then give me 1 second. That means I roll up
E8.
D8. And that's 6 because I'm extremely perceptive. Firing on all cylinders today.
You are very good at finding Cuss.
And that's really the only thing that you know you need to be good at. And you take some pride in that ability. However, you're not too aware of your surroundings. Cuss and Renaissance see two different things. Cuss, you're looking for your target. I mean, like, you're a hunter. You found you look to find the thing that is crawling. And you do, and it's increasingly. If any of you have ever seen the movie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it is basically that guy who has metal spikes on the bottom of his torso as he crawls across a table. You see that as this looks like an elderly gentleman with no arms, and he's missing everything from the waist down, and has just these metal cilia crawling along the ground in its place. And as you approach, he stops and turns around and says, "Stop it! Don't bother me!" Turns around and continues slowly crawling in that direction. And Renaissance, you notice what he's crawling towards, and it looks like a giant pile of scrap metal. Just like in the middle of the woods.
Does that scrap metal look like it might be other ships?
Other what?
Might be made up of other ship parts.
It
We
does.
now know this place
Funny
that
enough.
they're sending people. This seems like a funny ability. I'm gonna try to use it. I'm gonna try to use sweet talk on it, on them, on him, on this person.
What do you say?
I'm gonna have Renaissance kind of just keep walking, keep following, and just start saying, it's like, There were two other ships back there that looked like they would be well in this pile. If you're looking for something, we should totally look together. I'm really good at finding things.
The old armless, legless man turns towards you and sort of squints up at you. You think you can help? Is that what you're saying?
If I can, I'm really good company. Really good conversation.
Go ahead and make a check with your sweet talker ability.
Is it 3?
With a 3, he says, well, I am, like you, more mechanically inclined. In my personage, at least. I suppose we'll see what you can do and how you can assist. You said there were other ships, yes?
Yeah, totally. There's like 2 other ones. One's a little bit might have been on fire. The other one is not on fire last time I checked. So
I am familiar with the one nearby that's been on fire for days. Let's see this other one. You say you came here in said ship?
yeah, totally. And
Interesting.
behind Renaissance's back is just kind of just this like hither kind of finger motion of like get closer. Because they're just standing there with like their hands behind their back, just really leaning forward, being really friendly. For the other 2 to see while engaged in this conversation.
What do you 2 do as you, as Renaissance gives you a sort of come here motion?
I mean, I'm not sure Quentin would see that because trying to chase down Cuss, there's still a bit of the like, oh no, wait, come back, like internal monologue that is happening out loud.
I think old guy nearly got pounced when he was rude to Cuss. But then once Rennie started like talking to him, calming down, like Cuss kind of stopped and probably doesn't see the motion behind the back because it's probably kind of sitting between but off to the side at the 2 of them, like in a crouch and just like looking from one to the other as they're talking. So yeah, Quentin, they're not moving for once.
Yeah, I would arrive and then like look over and then like look back and then like look over. And then it would finally dawn on them. It would finally click in Quentin's head. Wait a second. Why? What's happening? Like we're supposed to be scouting new things, and we just keep running into people who are back from where we are from. Hey, mister, did you get bullied too?
Oh, yes, I was bullied all the time, especially as a wee lad.
Did I see a file on him back at the ship?
No. Well, if you say you want to help, then go help. Bring me those pieces of ships piece by piece, and we will build this contraption together.
What like are you
What?
building?
Right.
It is a mechanism of my own design using these pieces of said ships. There have been several ships. Most of the people that come in them sort of scurry off and I never see them again. But it appears that the 4 of you are inclined to stick around, and I appreciate that. You see, this is an alien planet, and strange things keep happening. There are predators and other non-predators, but it is, I needed a way to defend myself and explore as I was instructed. So, I've created a mechanism to assist me in doing so.
Wait, are you like from Earth?
Yes! Are you?
Sadly.
Yes, it's not a great place.
Okay, I mean, Dr. T.
My working theory is we were sent here to make a better society.
Lucas? Thought?
I'd like to fight a predator.
Lucas wants to
Oh,
fight a
just wait
predator.
around till the sun goes down. They'll show up.
Looks very excited at Quentin.
And just a soft squeak of, oh no. And then is like mechanism, and then would like sit down cross-legged right next to this new person and immediately start applying them with questions. What kind of mechanism? Are we building like a mech? Are we building like a SAM site? Like what sort of parts do you need? How do they fit together? What parts of it are volatile? Like just design question after
Stream of
design
questions.
question. Yeah.
Amazing. You don't give him time to answer, correct?
No, not even a little bit.
And I think he also starts answering said questions, but immediately cuts off his answer as he realizes you're asking another question, and then cuts off that answer at the next question. So it's you two just talking over each other constantly. Neither one really listening a whole lot, just talking about this thing, and no information is being gleaned whatsoever.
And now I have a best friend.
As this not conversation is happening, I think Riddy will feel another tug at the back of her. No file.
Oh. Well, there were probably other ships here. Maybe that's where he came from. It says he's from Earth. So, like, I guess, and then looks at Dr. T. He wasn't on your ship, was he? Is that understandable?
Dr. T is not really moving a whole lot and is shaking a little bit. A couple of veins bulge on its biceps.
That's not good. You stressed? You having a bad day?
It points with one hand directly at the newcomer and does this.
Oh. Lucas, I don't think they like you. I don't think this involves us. We could just let them duke it out and see what happens.
Still asking questions, even though like attention is like like things are happening. Still asking an inane question.
As go ahead.
Oh, also I've got some sirens, so I'm trying to. But,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think like Cuss will just kind of look over at Quentin and look back up and go, he'll be sad.
Yeah. All right, Dr. T, we're leaving these ones here. Come on. And Rennie's gonna hook arms with one of the arms. See if Dr. T will follow her back to the ship.
And they sort of like on like 3 or 4 different hands. And you make your way back to the ship to look for useful parts. Or
Rennie wants to
what's
look
your
at those
goal?
other files that were on Dr. T's ship.
Okay. And I think as the party gets split, that's where we're going to take our break for this evening. We'll be back in 10-15 minutes. So whatever time zone you're in, that'll be, what is that, 30, 40? Back at 40? Yeah, we can do that. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, 3, for playing. This is. I promise this is gonna explode real soon. Too many mysteries are happening. And we'll see you back in a couple minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We have cats, and we love cats. That's what our break was this time.
Yes.
A quick recap. Our party here, made up of Renaissance, the android who went through an art training program, Quentin, the researcher who blows stuff up and never loses enthusiasm for it, and Cuss, the happy-go-lucky hunter who is the reason for the decreasing squirrel population. These 3 were put on a ship and sent to this alien planet, and they are slowly figuring out why. They found files on each of them detailing how they specifically don't fit into society, and they were recommended for relocation, sent to this alien world. And they found a friend who was in the same situation, Dr. Thelonious, who's just a ball of arms, but according to Renaissance's memory, an excellent surgeon. Where we left off, they had also met a new, so far unnamed, person, also here from Earth, that is just a torso and head old man on tiny little metal legs. Hundreds of them scuttling along the ground. And he has been building something out of the ship parts that have been sent here, out of the ships that have been used to transport all of you here. But there's something wrong about him. Something not quite right. We couldn't find a file on him, but Renaissance and Dr. Thelonious, the handball, are both going back to the ship in which they found the files, while Cuss and Quentin stay here and keep keep this new guy company. We will start off with the investigation of the ship. So, Renaissance, as you and Dr. Thelonious approach, I'd like you to make a check to ransack the ship and see what you can find. Dr. Thelonious is going to help you with this, so you get 2 dice.
If I am using keen sense for this, to use my vision part of keen sense, do I roll 2d8 or is one of them a d8 and the other one 10?
Yep. If you benefit from something and someone helps you, you keep the die size.
Sweet. I like that. 4.
You start searching through all of these files, and you are unable to find what you're looking for. You find a lot of individuals sent here. You find a guy that turned into a lizard. Not a lizard-sized man, just a lizard, normal-sized lizard. He was sent here. You find a lady whose hair began growing out of all of her skin instead of just her scalp. You see a guy who looked like a normal dude, except that anyone he looked at turned to stone. He was removed from society. And you look through all of these people and their dossiers here, and it explains exactly why the decision was made to send them away. And they all end with relocation recommended. But you don't see one on this new guy.
Dr. T, I don't know what to make of this. This is a little... Why don't you like him? Is it a vibe thing? Does he have bad vibes? Bad manicure? The, bad vibes and an okay manicure? All right, let's just go with that then. I will, in fact, judge someone by their manicure. So, like, what? How? Where's the rest of? Which one of these is your crew, or who you came here with?
The hands start rifling through all of them, and it picks out the guy that turns people to stone, and it picks out another one that was another woman that just did not have a head, just lost a head, but still lived. No head.
She just couldn't get ahead in life, huh?
Just really couldn't.
Ow.
In
Couldn't make
situations
heads,
like
only made
these, it
heads.
is tough to keep your head.
It is. Yeah. She's on even footing. I think Renaissance is going to look over these two files. What are the names of these people?
They're relatively regular names. The woman without a head's name is Cassie, and the hang on. Most of this is improv, so I'm trying to remember what the other guy was.
Meduso.
Deuce.
Deuce!
Deuce.
Yeah, his name was Deuce.
Yes, I love it.
Must have been the second of his family
Right.
name.
Right. All right. Well, you didn't like witness them die or anything, right? Okay. Did the weird guy with the bad manicure, did he do something to your ship a couple days ago? He said that it's okay. He's the one who broke it and then trapped you underneath the stuff. Okay, got you. How likely is it that if I start yelling your compatriot's name, they're gonna come find us? Bad. Okay. Well, I'm at a loss now. But I guess we can just, like, put these someplace. And it just starts, like, slips Lucas's file into the pile of new files because it does not want to hurt Lucas's feelings. Cass is a good companion and gets things done in Renaissance's mind. Is a good member of society. It's like all of these people had the potential to be. And just starts piling everything back together, puts it on some surface that's not destroyed. And just kind of, Dr. T, you got any ideas?
Dr. T goes to begin writing in the dirt, but is immediately stops because in the distance you hear a strange sound, this explosion, almost like a roar, and you both look back in the direction that you came from, and we'll switch scenes back to what's happening over there. So as Quentin and this new guy are chatting up, not there with the non-conversation is still going. What is Lucas doing?
Cass is gonna go try to see what contraption he's building to bring back information. He's just gonna go. They're distracted. This is boring. Let's go poke.
All right.
Smells weird over there.
You crawl up onto this thing, and it looks kind of like a pile of scrap metal, like I described it as before. But go ahead and make a check to see what you can find.
Okay. Sorry. For those who just arrived, I am trying to roll with a cat. Literally in my arms, which, you know.
A little face.
You are not going to believe this.
Nuh-uh.
The one?
No.
Did you get a one?
The nose knows.
Oh!
It is a 1. as you start sniffing around, you are this is probably the metal thing that you were smelling earlier. The first scent you really caught. And it smells, most of these pieces have been jumbled together, all from, you recognize from the ship that you were in. There's a lot of paneling from their outer shells repurposed to become a shell for this thing. You can see sort of, it's almost like a large, it's just like a large mound. You do see one line moving off that looks like it looks like it's sort of like segmented like a spine, and on the sides of each segment there are like sharpened pieces of paneling, like blades sticking out from it, and it just rests across the ground and maybe goes 5-10 feet away from the thing, but the rest of this just looks like a mound.
So it's like a mound with what looks like some kind of like spinal bladed weapon coming off it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's about 5, you said 5 to 10 feet long?
The mound itself is maybe 15 feet wide, 5 feet to 10 feet tall.
Okay.
And the tail extends out 5 feet from that.
Okay.
Or whatever this thing is, the weapon. You do see a slot on the top of it that I don't know. It looks like a very large plug with you know those computer plugs that you had to screw in, where like there's several, like a half dozen prongs.
It's the same shape as the thing he's on, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think Cuss like scrabbles up to the top of this, like goes and pokes around in that. Kind of takes a minute standing on top of this, just looking around, just making sure, checking, and then we'll slide down and go loping back to Quentin.
How's the non-conversation, Quentin?
It is continuing, but as it continues to progress, Quentin is starting to get like little bits of like snippets of information about like the construction of whatever mechanism, because every 5th or 6th question circles back to the thing that this person wants to construct, but a lot of questions are like really like rude stuff. Like it's like, aren't you hungry? How do you like? And then like the doctor with the hands. How do you think that he does? So like, how does he see? Because again, still hasn't clicked in his head that like the doctor can hear, but knows that he can see the stuff that's written on the ground. And is also asking him, so when he gets back, do we both write questions, or how can you write questions in the dirt so that the doctor, like, do your little feetsies underneath, can they do the? But also, like, so what sort of power source do you need? Are we building and has asked, are we building a mech like 6 different times? Because apparently
I like how quickly it became we too.
right. Like, we're building a thing.
Support your new friends.
I'm part
Is
of
it
this.
a snowman? Are we building a snowman? Do you want to build a snowman?
Does it
Go
have to
ahead
be a
and
Gundam?
do you want to build a Gundam?
Do you want to build a Gundam?
Go ahead and make a check to see if you're able to glean any information from his ramblings in response to your questions.
Okay. Clear. D10. No, that is a 7.
Yeah, not a lot. The only thing you notice is that your repeated question, are we building a mech? He keeps avoiding it.
I think after the 24th or 30th question, it will unlock a core memory in which he has asked a authority figure something important repeatedly, and the authority figure has avoided it. And so, whether it's a mech or not, he is now locked in. Whether it is a mech for good or evil, he is now locked in because he keeps like dodging it. He's like, oh, so it's a mech, got it. And so now it's like the percentage of mech related questions starts to increase, and by like question 48, half of them are like mech related, and it's like, okay, so is it going to have the laser? Where are we putting the laser? Laser placement is important, and then it goes into like an entire diatribe about like you could put it in the arm, you could put it in the knee, you could put it in the shoulder, you could put it like in the forehead, and articulation. But what about like the like religious impacts of that? Because if we meet a tribe that is unfamiliar with our technology, will they like assign some sort of religious significance to the laser coming out of the forehead?
We won't meet a single tribe like that. I haven't met any tribes, just the predators that come out at night, and I really, really need to protect myself from them. So, and this is just like on top of every question that you're asking, just like talking over each other constantly. And at one point he just says, here, you know what? Why don't I just show you? This thing's really cool. And he makes his way over to the scrap pile. At this point, Cuss is still on top of it, and you're sort of over that plug. And he approaches you and says, excuse me, could you move to the side momentarily?
No. And just sits.
Where's a little squirt bottle with water in it when you need it?
Crisscross applesauce on top, just sits.
Would you please move aside?
Or a Scooby stick? No.
Why do you like him? It nods to Quentin.
Because he's smart. He understands what I'm saying. I haven't had a companion to talk to on my intellectual level in so long.
You were rude before.
I was? Most definitely, I offer my sincerest apologies for any rudeness that I may have bestowed upon anyone, any of your friends, or yourself.
So long pause. Long and thoughtful. He's just watching this old guy. And he looks to Quentin.
Because what's wrong? What could possibly? We're gonna build a mech.
Another pause, and then like leans forward. They're so far apart, right? It's not, but like leans forward and stage whispers. Like clearly is like, no, if I whisper, only Quentin can hear. It's like,
I don't think your mic picked it up.
no. Bad.
What's wrong with mechs?
This is bad. He's bad.
No!
And then Quentin will then like lay into all of this just off-color, rude observations. And just like, listen, I know like the little feet are like creepy, and I know like his nose is a little crooked, and I have like hygiene questions when you have like no arms and legs, and he's really not a good listener, but like, and then like another like 3 or 4 just rude observations. But consider it like once you get past all of that, is he really so bad? And what do you mean the pile of parts is bad? Like parts are good. Parts can become things, including mechs.
Dr. T doesn't like him.
And then looks around and is like, where's Dr. T? I have to ask him questions about, and then like starts just like wandering off, possibly in the direction of the ship, but also possibly not in the direction, and is muttering all of the questions, all the like hand blob mech related questions. Like, okay, so Dr. T has all these hands, so they're like more controls that you could put into the cockpit, but how is he going to see through the sensors? And then like, where does like the life support tubing go? Like, does it go like into his hands? Like, does he have any orifices? I have to ask Dr. T, and just wanders off, like just mumbling these questions, ostensibly to go ask them of Dr. T, but maybe not going in the right direction.
Stays crisscross applesauce exactly where they were. Just looks at the guy.
I'm gonna ask one more time nicely. Could you please step aside?
Uh-oh. It sounds like a combat encounter. Does he have lasers?
Well then, I suppose I'm going to have to use other means. And he crawls down from the scrap pile and goes around to about where the tail is. And you're sitting like up on top. You can't really see what he's doing. But there's a rumbling as the metal beneath you begins to move and shift.
Pops up kind of onto all fours again. How tough is this like mesh? Is this piece where clearly he's supposed to sit?
You're not sure. You haven't tried to break it yet.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to do now. Just claws in.
All right, go ahead and make a check to rip this part off.
Let's see. And I know I have natural weapons.
And I'm going to say this is an attack.
Yeah. I get a D10. We haven't rolled this one yet. Let's see if this one's going to be nice. It's a 5.
A 5. As you bring your claws straight down towards this thing, and you manage to get a grip, and you pull with all your strength, just like full on, all using your legs, your back, your arms. It is stuck fast, and you are nearly thrown from this thing. That is considered a failed check. If you are missing any effort, you gain 1 back. As you are almost
one moment. Because oh no, never mind.
Okay. You are nearly thrown from this thing as it rises. It rises onto all fours, and you see this sort of square-ish head with a simple jaw that opens, and you can see it has teeth made of like almost like dangling wires mixed with jagged pieces of broken metal, and it just lets out this metallic screaming roar that echoes off of the trees around you into the forest beyond. And this is the sound that Renaissance and Dr. T heard. And you two start sprinting back. It spins around. Cuss still barely hanging onto its back. And as it spins around, you see the smallish man get thrown into a tree, hits his back right against it, and falls to the ground, not moving. And the dragon lets out another roar and spreads its metallic wings. And you can see a dull red light inside its mouth. And Quentin, the thought goes off in your head. Ah, so that's where the laser is. And I need everyone to please roll a reaction check as we enter combat.
As everyone hears out loud. Oh no!
This time loud enough for everyone to hear.
It's in combat, so that doesn't count. Okay.
So, a reaction check is basically an initiative roll. It's how we determine turn order. I will ask for your results momentarily because there's a really cool way that I like to do it and is really fun. So you'll see. But this is essentially how we determine turn order and how initiative starts. Right as this is happening is when Renaissance gets back to the clearing, having left Dr. T behind because it's running on your hands is slower than running on your legs. Okay, so for reaction checks, did anybody get a 10 or higher? 9. 8.
I'm hanging on for
8.
dear life.
7. Rennie, 6. Oh no.
No, no.
But we moved as a group.
We did.
We came together in initiative.
You did. You did come together in
Exactly.
initiative. Okay. So, first up is the dragon. At this point, we find out that Quentin, who had started to wander off towards Dr. T to ask questions, was actually wandering in exactly the wrong direction, opposite. So Quentin is on one side of this dragon, and Renaissance is on the other, with with Cuss still clinging for dear life onto its back. And it is going to spin around, and it swings its tail, its bladed tail, towards Quentin first. So, David, I need Quentin to please make an avoid check against this attack.
Okay. Avoid. I'm looking in the combat action.
Roll a d10 unless you've got something specific.
I don't. That is. I got a 1. Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
I only got 1.
Please describe how you dodge this tail coming towards you with your perfect success.
I mean, in Quentin's default, both arms out, galumphing way, like, here's dragon, turns around, sees tail, and then it's like, oh no!
So the tail,
just-
you literally run away from the tail, and the tail sort of like curves upward, just barely missing the back of your head.
Like, had Quentin thought about it, wouldn't have done it. It's that pure instinct.
Then the dragon is going to take one of its claws, its shoulder turns backwards, and it's going to swipe at its back where Cuss is still hanging on. Cuss, please make an avoid check yourself. No. No way.
I'll put
What's
the white
happening?
one away. I'll put the white one way, but the blue one's been doing it too. This, yeah, I roll so many nat ones.
It misses entirely as you just flatten yourself against its back.
I think Quentin just hears a yelp of bad, bad, bad.
It lets out another roar in response, and it is now Quentin's turn. On your turn, you have an action and a movement. Movement, you get to move one zone, which is sort of like about 15, 20 feet. This dragon is a large creature that takes up an entire zone itself. And since Cuss is also in that zone, it is considered overcapacity. There's too many things in this zone. It's too crowded. So anything inside that zone that isn't large, i.e. Cuss, can't attack. You can do everything else, you just can't attack. But you still have a movement and an action.
Okay, say that one more time. Cuss can't attack, but I can attack.
Cuss can't attack. You can, because you're not inside the dragon zone.
Okay, and the only combat thing I have is grip. Give me 1 second. I'm scrolling down to grip.
Just to go over what your options are exactly in combat. You can remember them pretty easily by remembering... Hang on, where to go? Oh, that's turn order. This should be on the cheat sheet. All right. All right. By remembering A, B, C, D, E. So A, attack. B is brace. Essentially, when you get hit, you don't lose health, you lose effort instead. Check, which is miscellaneous. You're going to try to do something else and make a check to see if you succeed or not. Dash, which is move again. And encourage, which is you can communicate with one of your allies and encourage them and give them any amount of your effort if they're missing some.
I'm going to attack. Quentin is finally going to use something that has been a disadvantage for many years, in that hands are too rough with things, and is instead going to use hands too rough with things on something that needs to be broken. And ostensibly punch directly in tail. Like, oh no, away, stop, turn, tail go by, and then oh no, back, and then like bop it.
So you duck, you barely duck underneath his tail, and then like run towards it, grab one end, and sort of try to cut it off with your metal arms. Yep. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
And on a D12, that is a 4.
A 4 misses. This thing is made out of like space grade armor. This thing is tough as hell, and you don't hurt your arms, but there's this giant clang, and the tail, like, there's a nice little dent in it, so you know it can be damaged in this way, but it did not really do any significant damage at all.
Now, do I still have movement?
Yes, you do.
Okay. After the big clang, then oh no, around the circumference around the dragon in the direction of Renaissance.
Okay, moving around the dragon towards Renaissance. Got it. Next up is Rennie.
I am going to... Are either of you missing any effort? No?
No.
Is there a way to spend effort to give someone advantage, you say?
Yes, but that is done on the other person's turn. You can declare that whenever someone else is making a check, even after
Cool.
they've rolled bad on it. You can say, "Wait, I'm going to help."
Okay.
So that is mostly how help is done.
Gotcha.
You can do that for yourself as well, but it's more expensive. Normally, help only costs 2, but if you boost, which is basically helping yourself, it costs 3 effort.
I'm gonna go ahead and how far away is that tail from us?
You can get to it if you want.
Rennie's gonna take out their mace, which is named Hugs,
That's right.
and they're gonna go forward. Just be like, Dr. T said he didn't like you. I should have trusted him. You don't have a good manicure, and then whack the tail. Where'd that go? Oh, there it is. I also got a 4.
A 4 is still not enough. You put another dent in it with a loud clang, and the tail whips away as the dragon spins around to face the two of you, which are now pretty close together. That was your movement and your action. So next up is Cuss from its back. Remember, you can't attack while you're riding this thing.
Right. I think Cuss is going to kick themselves off of this thing, trying to land near Quentin, because as much as Quentin blows things up, Quentin also needs protecting. Sometimes from himself, sometimes from other things, and is just gonna make a little claw attack at whatever bit of the dragon they can hit on their way sailing to the air towards their friend.
Yeah, all right, go ahead and make an attack. So mechanically, you are moving off of this dragon and on into your allies zone.
Yes.
I'm going to say that's difficult. That's going to require a check.
Okay.
So first, we'll see how your movement does, and then we'll do the attack.
Okay. Ooh, that's bad. That's a 9.
Would you like advantage? Would you like some help?
Yeah.
I
want
might.
some help?
It would be good.
I will give you help.
All right.
Appreciate.
How does Renaissance help Cuss come off the back safely and in this direction?
I think it's just Renaissance yelling up to Lucas. It's like, oh no, Quentin is without a friend. Doesn't Quentin look very sad? If only someone could jump to his aid. It is basically trying to be encouraging.
And watch out for that wing.
And watch out for that wing. It's
So as
basically
the-
just that.
All right, go ahead and add another die to that check.
That's better. That's a 5.
That is a success. You will manage to get kind of roughly down. Like, it's not so much the cool leap and flip that you were imagining. It's sort of like a
Yeah.
as I climb down.
Yeah, trying to climb
Ha-ha,
down a
flip.
tree.
Yeah. And once you get back to your friends, you spin around, and what does your attack look like?
I think it's it's almost like an uppercut, except there's claws, right? Like, this thing is big. I don't know if they can reach the chin. It's probably too high up, but they're just going for any bit that they can hit. Just a big old swipe.
So it's an upper claw.
Big O swipe.
Yeah. It's another 4.
That's another miss.
Mhm.
Your claw scrapes against that wing that as you duck underneath it, but it's just nails on a chalkboard screeching as sparks go flying. And it does not take any meaningful damage, though you can still see the marks that you left on that metal plating of its wing.
Yeah.
Next
Lance.
up is the
Rude gesture.
dragon. And remember, there is, for the audience, there are donation incentives. You can help these guys win. And after you hear this next what's about to happen, I think they might need it. Because y'all got into a nice single space, right, perfect for this thing to, its mouth opens, a bright red light from inside its gullet begins to glow. And this giant laser beam shoots out of its mouth and kicks up the dirt in front of you as it tilts its head back, and the laser comes rocketing towards you. Everybody, please make an avoid check from this dragon's laser breath weapon.
3?
3.
7.
Cuss dodges one way. Renaissance rolls out of the way the other direction. And and our injured researcher, fearing absolutely nothing, stands there and takes the full blast of this laser. You take 2 damage. Which, to clarify, in case y'all don't know how Sagas works, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's half
a
my
level 1
HP.
character. That's a whole level 1 character.
Yeah.
So you remember that time just moments ago when I said we have donation incentives? That is going to be the dragon's turn as it poises itself, ready to attack again. Quentin, you're up. Smoking and having just taken this damage.
I am accustomed to taking life-threatening damage from various mechanical sources, so I'm probably not as concerned as I should be. But so 4-legged dragon, 2-legged dragon.
4.
4. I want to do a grip. I just want to run up and so like not like arms around 4-leg, but like more like the like pinching of skin, like just dig metallic fingers into the metal carcass of this thing and hold it so that it cannot turn. Or at least do my best to like grab a foot so it can't like turn.
So it can't move around, yeah. You do your best to anchor yourself in the ground and hold this one leg down. Remind me how grip works as I look it up myself.
Rank 1 checks you make to grab onto characters, monsters, or objects may use a D8. And let me make sure I have all the points that I was going to put into. I don't know how many points you need to spend to get to the next rank. I don't know if it's 1 or 2.
It'd just be 1. 1 point to get to each next rank.
Okay. So I'm probably rank 3 grip.
So the checks you make to grab onto characters, monsters, or objects may use a D6, and checks you make to maintain that grip may use a D8.
Okay, so that's a 2 to snag him.
Oh yeah, you just like a toddler on an adult's leg, just whoop.
And do I have to do I have to like have declared this before? But can we do like a combo?
Combos for damage specifically.
Damn. Okay.
But other than that, it works exactly the same as help. You just have to declare it before the attack happens.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Quentin, now holding this big-ass metal dragon in place. Rennie, you're up.
I think I'm going to first not clump together. Second, I'm gonna go for the opposite leg. So if
Okay.
Quentin's on one of the front legs, I'm on the other front leg.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and smack it with hugs. Just for everybody's knowledge, Brittany also has brass knuckles that are called kisses. So
My
I was
favorite.
wondering when I heard hugs, I was like, "Where's kisses
Mhm.
coming from?" And now I know, and I feel a lot better.
there's a joke. Some band made a kiss with a fist, and that's what I thought was funny. That's gonna be a 1 for that hit.
That is a crit, and you deal 2 damage.
Nice.
Please describe for me how this critical hit lands on the dragon.
You said this is made out of parts of the ship, like the ships
Mhm.
that we've been landing in. I think the reason why Renaissance chose this leg is because they noticed that like part of this leg is made out of one of the doors. And after seeing Quentin break one of those in the past, trying to open the touchscreen of the ship that Dr. T was in, Renaissance just aimed for the
Yeah.
same area.
And using this past knowledge, we see this minor flashback, and we get this kind of cool overlay of Quentin's metal finger cracking glass and your mace smashing it into a million pieces. And the leg buckles and it kind of like falls to the ground as it takes 2 damage. All right, next up is Cuss.
Gus is going to like shake that bad swing off of them. Is going to charge forward, leap, like just narratively, just because it's funny, like bound off of Quentin, like run up Quentin, jump to take a swipe at this thing.
All right, and both claws out, you descend upon the dragon.
Okay. So that is a 10. However, because
know
I
what's
am
gonna happen
lucky,
here.
I can spend 2 of my effort to re-roll it, because that is the worst I could roll on this dice.
No.
Oh.
I don't. Is it re-roll it?
Is it re-roll it? Or is it auto something?
Hold on.
Hold on, scrolling.
When you
I
roll the
succeed
highest
instead of fail.
possible number for a check, such as an 8 check on a check that used such as an 8 on a check that used a D8, you can spend 2 effort to succeed instead of fail. So your claws descend upon this dragon, doing another point of damage. What does that exactly look like? How do you damage this thing?
I think Cuss is like looking for, at this point, like they've scratched and it's not worked. They've gotten on this mesh and pulled and it hasn't worked. So they're like looking for seams, and they jump and they like hook their claws between 2 seams and start to pry that open.
Amazing. Both of you finding weak points and capitalizing on them. You, Cuss, you just rip this entire panel off, throw it to the side, and expose this wiry interior with like a loose structure inside. You can see almost all the way to the center now. And it is angry about that. Next up is the dragon. It's going to take one of its claws and lift it up right in front of your face, Rennie. The claw rotates around using a motor that's not a wrist. It just flips itself entirely upside down and swipes upwards right at you. Please make an avoid check.
Come back here. No, not you. You. Let's see.
That is a 3, which is a success.
Oh, thank
You duck out of the way just in the nick of time. As the claw raises, it sees Cuss land after ripping off one of its scales, and is going to try to step on Cuss. Go ahead and make an avoid check, please.
Hey. Yeah, this dice is going to timeout. That's a 6.
Oh.
That's a 6. You take 3 damage.
That is all of my health.
The
Squish.
claw descends directly on Cuss. Wham! And Cuss is nowhere to be seen. Direct hit. Now, you get to make a very interesting decision when you reach 0 hit points in Sagas. You get to decide whether you fall unconscious, which is what it sounds like. You know, you can't do anything, you can still take damage and might die. And you will wake up with a life-threatening wound that will take several sleeps to heal. Or you can take your last stand, and essentially, in exchange for making death certain, you get a huge power boost.
I think Cuss really wants to keep playing with the dragon, maybe, hopefully, eventually. So they're not going to go out in a blaze of glory yet. Like, they're going to fall unconscious.
Okay. The leg shifts, and you can see Cuss lying there, unmoving for the time being. And the dragon looks back to the rest of the party, and you swear you see a glint of happy malice in its eyes. Next up is Quentin.
I'm looking over the 0 health options. You cannot. So, is there like something similar to like aid in D&D, or is it aid or is it help? Is help?
The help action, yeah.
Help action.
Yeah. Is there something similar to the help action where it's like, oh, you're boned, but I can intervene and like do something about it?
You don't have the necessary skills and materials, I believe. There are certain abilities inside Sagas that can heal allies. There's certain pieces of equipment that you could have picked up. But I don't know if you have either of those.
I have 1 rank of crafting, but that probably doesn't do the thing.
What do you I believe crafting makes you do a specific type of thing that you craft.
Yeah, I probably didn't get that far with the tools, but it would be something sciencey. It would be like,
You're a chemist, right?
yes.
I will say, I see where you're going with this, and here's what I'm going to do. I will allow you to take this turn to find something in the forest where you might recognize its chemical makeup, and it might have some healing properties that you might be able to recognize because of your experience with chemicals and your scientific knowledge. But this is going to require this is going to be a pretty difficult check because this is an alien landscape. If you succeed, you will get the piece of equipment healing device, which can bring Cuss back to 1 health.
What other question? I know in D&D there's like disengage. Am I going to like incur some sort of like I could just move out of there and not get swiped
There's
on the
no
way out?
opportunity attacks in Sagas.
So, holding on to leg, looks over, sees Cuss go under, and then goes, "Oh no," and then let go of the leg, and then turn and run off into the forest, going, "Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no," and will take my action looking for a thing.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to need a 2.
Probably not going to get it 2. But let's see.
Okay.
D12. Roll. That's a 2.
No way. That's what? On a 12? That's insane.
The likelihood.
So part of the reason that I love using what's it called? Digital apps is I can send screenshots. But yeah.
Where's the receipts?
Right. That is a 2 on the die.
That is a 2 on the die indeed. You immediately recognize 3 separate plants and their properties, and you make an educated guess as to what the main substance is within them. They're pretty like water-based, thick things. And based on their properties, you know that mixing these 3 together will cause a sort of chemical reaction with stomach acid that is beneficial to one's health. Rapidly beneficial. So you grab all 3 of these things and just start mushing them together into a ball.
Oh, this is gonna be
You
fun.
won't be able
round.
to save Cuss this turn, but when
next round.
it next comes around. All right, Rennie.
That's still under the foot.
The foot has moved.
Okay, the foot has moved. I'm gonna spend
I'm just a
my.
pancake.
Brady's just gonna spend their turn. Just looks at the pancake of Cuss. Well, that won't do. And just scoops and moves. And we're gonna go into the forest behind a tree.
Into the forest behind the trees.
Or the giant plant landscape. If there's not trees. Alien planet.
We'll say there are trees. I think right at the
We did get
beginning
told
I
there were
said
trees.
most of the flora is like normal earth-looking stuff, just the wrong color.
So it's a pink tree. Fine.
It's a pink oak, yes.
Rennie is gonna go ahead and prop us up behind the tree. And we're just gonna, and there is like a hand waving for Quentin to see, and the dragon. It's fine.
Are you going towards Quentin?
I don't think Rennie knows which way Quentin went. Just know that Quentin went into forest. So if you want to say that I know which way he went, sure. But I don't know that. I think it was more focused on, yes, our friend is now a pancake. Direction.
You know which way Quentin went because he was yelling "Oh no" as he went.
Yes, Rennie will follow the trail of O-No's.
I imagine this in like full-on fourth wall breaking comic book where the "Oh no's" are like letters and they're like spread behind like breadcrumbs.
Absolutely.
No,
110%.
Following the trail of O-No instead of the yellow brick road.
So you carrying Cuss. I'm not going to require a check for that. But you still haven't used your action?
Is the rule? This is gonna sound really weird. If someone is unconscious, are they considered an object?
Why?
I have the ability to conceal.
Ooh. Yes.
You don't know how good that
Yes.
would be. Yes.
I have the ability to conceal. If Cuss is considered to be an object at this moment, I would like to use my action to conceal.
Yes, this is I am one to reward creative problem solving like this because goddamn that's great.
Go into the pocket.
There's a 4 help.
So with a 4, you sort of you behind this tree, you like you fully uproot a bush and just like put it on Cuss and like move to the side, maybe.
Yep. Yep. Kind of like, all right, that's done.
All right. Cuss, it is your turn and you are unconscious. You can't take actions, you can't move. But I will ask, what memory is going through Cuss's mind in this moment?
I think it's this kind of sad moment of Cuss before the pulse, like came from a very big family and was very close to all of their siblings. But when the pulse happened, Cuss was the only one who changed. And so it's this moment of like memories of being close to all of these siblings and then suddenly just being a terror, right? Of no one being able to tolerate them, of this distance between them because they're just suddenly such a different person and no one was prepared for that. But then it's kind of set up against these new people in their lives, Renaissance and Quentin, who they're really not close to, but these people just kind of accept and just don't necessarily encourage, but certainly aren't trying to change, aren't trying to control, aren't trying to condition. It's just this like feeling of longing to belong and wanting to be close to these people and help people, even if they're a little weird.
As those memories flash through your mind, your eyes open briefly to see bushes on top of you. And you pass back out.
That tracks.
Next up is the dragon. Dragon takes one bound, now freed from Quentin's grasp, takes one bound towards Quentin, and the slightly damaged tail swings towards you, cleaving trees in two as it goes. Quentin, please make an avoid check.
Oh no. That's a 4.
A 4 is exactly what you needed to avoid it.
Excellent.
As these
That's very good
trees
news.
come crashing down on all sides of you, you sort of like duck and cover, like you have this ball of stuff and you sort of like, yeah, and cover your head with it. And the tail swooshes right above you, missing you for the second time. All right. That is the dragon's turn. Next up is you, Quentin.
I turn, so I've got the for lack of a better term, medicine in my hand, and I turn to run back. And as I'm running back, I see Rennie, and I stop. I look at Rennie, and I look at the dragon, and then I'm like, where?
Under the bush.
And then like look at Bush, look at Rennie, look back at Dragon, basically blowing all of my movement, not moving.
I love it.
And then dives on top of Cuss, jams miscellaneous plants in mouth, and then grabs jaw and starts chewing. And it just says like more to himself than to Cuss, chew, 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 chew. And almost like uppercutting poor Cuss with the healing balm.
and you use your just crafted healing device.
And when it comes to usage, you can
Ooh.
apply to any creature healing wound from them entirely,
You know
removing all severe.
I'm gonna say that I this is the wrong thing that I had in mind. I'm gonna say it's you managed to do what you're trying to do, and Cuss regains 1 hit point. Normally, healing devices remove wounds, which are like status effects. That can be
But
pretty
healing
severe
liquid?
in many cases.
Mhm.
But yes, healing liquid, the one right underneath that. You're right. That's what you used.
Okay, so you got one good one. The only hit point that matters is the last one.
Exactly.
There's so much to be said about that from a game design perspective.
Right? That is a cry for anyone who's ever healed in an MMO. It's like, listen, you got one. You're fine.
Yeah. All right. That is Quentin's turn. Cuss, you come back to consciousness. Rennie, you're up.
Oh. I think he's just gonna look at the whole thing and just kind of just decide it's like, you know what? I think I could waste some time. I could probably hack our ship and we can leave. Do we want to keep trying with the dragon? Or do we want to get out of Dodge? And it's just kind of talking to these two, the Cuss who's currently trying to regain consciousness and Quentin making Cuss chew. And then he decides, all right, you guys seem busy. I guess I'm gonna go smack the dragon. Use my move. Which way is the dragon facing? Towards us? Away from us? Just in general?
Right now towards you.
Lovely. Rennie is just gonna go, and there was the other leg that Quentin was holding on to before.
Mhm.
They're just gonna go behind and just swing and try to hit that leg again.
Aiming right for the joint, right for another weak point. All right. Before you roll, now that you two are awake, is anyone comboing with this?
Give me
Come on, my
one second.
feral friends.
You
Because-
spend 2 effort, and if this attack hits, it deals 1 extra damage.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me So if the attack misses, do I still spend the effort, right?
Right. It's a risk.
I'm willing to roll those dice.
Literally.
Like right? Once stuff jammed in the mouth, look up and go, there's still a dragon there. Should probably do something about this.
Very good at compartmentalizing.
Okay. I got a
How do
3.
you increase the damage of Rennie's mace swing?
Right. My mace is called
Yeah.
Hugs.
So there's damage to the leg already, and it would probably be just sink fingers into armor and try to pull back on wherever the damage is to open up a hole for more smashy.
You open up a nice big target. Rennie swings, and with a 3, it connects.
Excellent.
And it literally rips through this leg entirely. The claw is fully taken off, detached. This is the limb is completely severed. There are dangling wires sparking from where it once was, and the dragon limps backwards. This weird metallic growl emanating from its mouth, and it takes a full 2 damage. It's looking hurt. now that it's missing a leg. And that was Rennie's turn.
Mhm.
Next up is Cuss, having come just back to consciousness at 1 hit point.
So I assume that with the not so gentle administering of healing, the bush cover is gone.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Cuss is going to hop up. Bruce is forming everywhere. Blood coming out of the nose. Shake self like a dog. And they're going to just shoot off to the side into the woods. And dive into kind of another patch of bushes and thick. And they're going to go perfectly still with shadowy statue.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a check to hide from this dragon.
Okay. So
And mechanically, the benefit of this, if you succeed and you are hidden from the dragon, your next attack against it is going to get 1 extra die.
So you were able to remain completely still while hiding. Checks to remain unseen. Use a D8. So this is a D8, correct?
Yeah.
No, I don't trust you.
This might be a new record. This might be a record for all the games of Sagas I've run.
Ask David how many natural ones I roll on a D20. This is completely normal for me.
And what's particularly hilarious is Kay makes dice and has sent them to different people. And so I have been rolling, we've been playing a game. I rolled a die she gave me that critically hit her. And then she was attacking something with a die she made. And it was 2 1s and a 3 in the same combat.
Oh my gosh.
And also has had to had a romance option, and the person who was getting the other person who wasn't interested was seducing the NPC with her die while she was trying to seduce the NPC with her own die, and rolled a 1 for strength check, rolled a 3 for a second strength I gave her because I was like, listen, we're gonna make this happen, okay?
Yeah.
And just kept rolling. K rolls low all the time. It doesn't matter the dice, and it's always hilarious. It's it's one of my favorite parts of GMing games for K. Is
And
I know there's always going to be a critical failure.
I made a pink and gold with flowers dice for my friend. He rolled it, not understanding what he was rolling, and it critically succeeded, nat 20, in stealing my potential girlfriend.
Oh,
Yep.
So not only
so good.
Not only are you bad, do dice hate you? Even the dice you own, you make yourself, hate you. And there's evidence of this happening twice, where it critically succeeded to your detriment.
Yes, it was great. It was everything I wanted.
4 NPCs I've
Wow.
made and thrown
This
at her
is-
character.
This is Will
their
Wheaton
stories
levels of unluck.
But it's working for me now. I'll take it.
Right,
Normally in roll under
yeah.
systems, I'm rolling 20s, so I'll take it.
All right.
This is so not my luck.
But that is a critical hit on this dragon.
Well, that was to hide.
No,
was to
sorry,
hide.
you're not attacking. This is to hide.
Yeah, right.
You are so thoroughly hidden. No one knows where you are.
Yeah.
You were
Quentin
there once and you're not there now.
Y'all just watched Cuss just run off into the woods. If you're like, uh-oh. Are they coming back?
no.
Maybe not. We don't know.
I was like, oh no, you're supposed to stay with us. And again, just talking to himself, he's like, but wait, no, I guess it's good that I'm supposed to keep track of you.
The supreme sense of abandonment.
And you start to see why Cuss may have run from this immediate area as you hear a familiar as the laser breath rakes the ground in front of you once again. I need Rennie and Quentin to please make avoid checks.
And do. Roll.
Remember, you can
That's-
help each other on this.
That's bad.
What did you?
That's a 9.
I have a question. What happens if you dropped 0 effort?
If you drop to 0 effort, nothing actually happens. You just don't have effort to spend.
But if you have 0 effort and 0 health,
And 0 health, it's different.
that's when things are
I'm gonna give my last 2 effort to give Quentin hand that. Roll a different dice, please.
Okay.
Please.
Quentin!
That's
Quentin.
that's an 8. That's an 8.
And a 9.
It's okay. I'll just die. It's fine.
Well, don't die.
I'll just lay there
Why?
unmoving. It was a good time.
You do your best to pull Quentin out of the way. Quentin's still not realizing what's going on. And as you are grabbing his hand, the laser covers him in light. The only thing you can see is the hand you're holding. Quentin, I believe that brings you to 0 health, yes?
Yep.
You are already familiar with the decision you have to make now.
Yep. I'm just gonna lay there and think about the consequences of my action.
Unconscious it is.
Yep.
Good, because if he went out in
Yes.
a blaze of glory immediately after being abandoned by Cuss, I would feel so bad.
Quentin falls. Right in front of you, Rennie, you see his charred body go to his knees and fall to the side.
Don't like that. All right.
Quentin, normally you would be up next, but I'm going to ask you what memory you are having.
So the realization of like, oh no, I'm dying hasn't really set in for Quentin yet. So he's just like laying there and having like 4 different thoughts at once. Like, 1, where did Cuss go? I have to go after Cuss because the whole reason I was allowed to come here is because I said I would keep track of Cuss. But then also there's like this like sadness because there are all of these like unresolved experiments that he wants to like finish. And then also at the same time, while he's thinking about that, he thinks about like this one chemical equation he couldn't get to work properly. And so he's trying to remember it properly while also like doing the math on it. And so he's doing the math on it, and then he's also having a memory of one of the teachers in whatever like secondary university where he's going for like a math degree and a chemical engineering degree, just yelling at him and telling him that he's terrible at math and why would he choose to do this when he always gets the wrong answer. And remembering a moment where he's like apologizing to the teacher and then like erasing a thing and then like rewriting it and the teacher being like, oh my god, like you have to use numbers and letters. And it's like, but it's math, you don't need letters. All at the same time while he's laying there just be like, and like the pain hasn't hit yet.
Rennie,
Mm-hmm.
you see your newfound friend fall right in front of you, and it's your turn.
All right, fine. Take a swing at whatever's in front of me of this dragon, probably upwards. The belly.
Upwards, straight towards his jaw.
I'm not that tall.
Okay.
I'm not that tall. That is going to be a 5. So it's just aiming towards like the chest area, probably. Of just like whatever's in front of me. Smack. I'm assuming
And
that does
you
not hit.
smack solid metal plating. You don't even leave a scratch on it.
Use my movement, dragging my friend away from said dragon. Actually,
I
Getting to be
will
very
say that we
familiar for you.
did get a $10 donation, which gives all players 1 effort.
Hey.
Thank you.
I have 1.
So I'm about to use some, I think.
And remember, every single time you fail a check, including on this attack, you gain 1 effort.
I have 2 now.
That also counts for avoid checks, so you lose 1 health, you gain 1 effort, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cuss.
All right.
Sneaking, stealthy hunter.
So, back before I died, I ripped part of this thing open. How big of a open space did I?
Are you wanting to get inside this thing?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Because
It's gonna
all of
be
those
tight.
wires look a lot easier than the metal plates.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and make... I'm going to say this is an attack roll to rip the hole open wide enough for you to get
Okay.
inside.
I can do that. And I have my shadow statue, so I get to add an extra dice to this, correct?
Yep. Because the dragon doesn't know where you are.
Question to the table. We had a donation at the very beginning for an extra dice, correct?
Is it a...
Did I? Or maybe not.
We
was
got
plus
a
1.
+1.
Plus
effort.
1. Okay, plus
That
1
was
effort.
that was the one I just awarded now.
Okay.
Because I realized
Okay.
it happened.
Okay. Then yeah, okay. Come on, friends. You've been so good to me. Come on, friends. Come on, friends. Either do really well or give me a 10. I don't care which. I'm holding them both up.
And that's
Those
a
are
1 and a
one-
3.
It's a 1 and a 3. You've rolled nothing but 1s and 3s like this whole night.
Magic number.
Yep.
Tis a magic number.
I swear, one day there's going to be math around your head and the entire universe is going to implode on the statistical anomaly that is K.
It's funnier when she does it on D20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I roll a lot of 17s and 20s, so I feel you.
I mean, that usually gets you to success, but
Sometimes.
sometimes. Yeah.
That is a critical success. As you rip wires out of this dragon, it takes 2 more damage and starts to writhe, trying to get you off of it. Still only having now 1 front leg, and you are thoroughly inside of it. It still might damage you just from twisting and
Oh, yeah.
turning.
I think like leaps up, and it's like the cat thing where most of it's in, but the back legs are hanging out, and so there's like clawing at wires inside, and then the scraping of the back feet trying to like get in.
That's perfect. Next up is the dragon, and it is going to take its swipe at the person that just removed its entire leg.
I mean,
All right, Rennie. Avoid check, please.
an 8.
Can I help?
I'd like you to describe how you help.
Please do.
From inside the dragon, I see like a cord start to move, and I just grab it and do my entire body weight to try to like counter the reaching out
Yes.
limb.
Try to
Yes.
Quasimodo this dragonfly.
Sanctuary!
All right. One more die.
I mean, that's better. That's a 2.
That is much better.
Yes.
As you see the entire jaw comes down around you and is about to clamp shut, but you hear something break inside of it and its jaw just stays there open
Mhm.
and doesn't close on you.
Lovely.
And it's
That is the
scraping the claws
dragon's
from
turn,
inside.
and it raises its mouth and something else breaks inside of it and its jaw is now working again. That was its turn though. Quentin, you're still not doing so hot.
So unconscious, but now the pain has set in, and there's this sort of like almost out of body experience where there's this sort of examination, and it's like, okay, I've had like acid burns, I've had base burns, I've had fire burns, and he's just like really just trying to like it is like, ow, this hurts, but also is trying to quantify the type of pain, and is trying to do that while doing the math, while getting yelled at by the teacher in his head. And there is like an increasing sense of panic. Not necessarily like, because Quentin is unfortunately fearless when it comes to death, hence the missing limbs. But there's this increasing panic of, I'm running out of time to do my experiments. I'm running out of time to make a breakthrough somewhere. And that's problematic. And also, out of all of the pains, this one is familiar, but also really, really intense compared to before. And then there might be like an unconscious little squeak of like, oh no.
Did he say, oh no? No, he clearly said to blave.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Rennie, you're up. Having narrowly escaped becoming this creature's lunch.
Ugh. Think. How did. It's missing an entire leg, isn't it? No?
It is missing an entire front leg.
I have something dumb, but kind of funny, but if it works, it'd be really cool. Put on the table.
I'm listening.
I have the ability for hacking, and if I succeed, it opens non-essential systems such as lights and doors. If I succeed this somehow, on a D8, can a door internally open for our little friend inside? The dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
Love.
So, how are you going to hack this thing?
Well, there's some exposed wires right there.
Hot
Dangling
wired
from
like
the
a car.
leg.
Yeah.
From the leg.
Yes.
And I'm an android, so I am the hacking.
Oh yeah.
Time to jack in.
Make a check to hack.
Oh. Well, that's a 4. I got a lot of 4s.
And a 4 is what you needed. You see so you take 2 of these wires and just like jam them together. Nope, this one. Nope, this one. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one. And they're like, you can see the dragon just like twitching as this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And Cuss, you get thrown around by this, but then a tiny little red light in front of you turns green and a door rotates and kind of like falls off. And inside, you can see a glowing blue orb pulsing with wires sticking out of every corner of it. Clearly this thing's power source.
Just this slow, feral grin. Just.
Guess whose turn it is?
Gathers their legs under them, crouches down, and then just starts. It's almost like Tarzan swinging, half loping. Just going for the shiny. We want the shiny. We want teeth and all 10 claws in the shiny.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
No, this one did the one last time, so we're gonna do this one instead.
That one's out of ones.
That's what I'm afraid of. Ooh. So that's a 9.
Is anyone in the audience able to give some effort or a help or something? Because I think Rennie is out of effort.
Yeah.
I have one.
One.
But
Which
you
is
need
not
to
enough.
I can spend 3. I have 3.
You can boost.
I can boost.
Boosting is the same thing as help, except on yourself, and requires exactly 3.
Mm-hmm. Putting that to 0. And that's a 4.
So, this thing's defense is 3. Through the laws of creative thinking and problem solving, inside this thing, I said its defense is slightly worse. So it's 4. And in Sagas, ties go to the player. This thing had 1 health left. Please describe for me what happens inside the belly of the dragon.
It is like, first off, there's a little bit. It's a weird moment inside of Cuss's brain because Cuss was really hoping. Cuss doesn't know where the old guy went. Dude with no arms, no legs, was convinced he would be in here. So it was like, I'm gonna go find this guy and rip his throat out. Then there's a shiny. So we may as well go get the shiny. And just Tarzan swings through all these wires, pounces on this thing, almost misses, gets their footing, just starts ripping wires out of this blue orb. Can the orb actually like come out, or is it like fused it? Yeah, so it's just shredding wires. Like there is nothing meticulous about it. It is claws and kicking and throwing. And then I think after, like, I assume the dragon is like and struggling to keep balance. And as soon as the thing, as soon as the thing just hits the ground and stops moving, Cuss will very happily grab up the ball, the blue orb, crawl out, drop it at Rennie's feet. Mm-hmm. We'll look at Quentin, and then we'll just take off another direction.
On to the next. Quentin is still unconscious at this point, but the dragon is unmoving. All the lights have dimmed to nothing, and it is once again a hunk of scrap metal. It is at this point that our friend Dr. Thelonious, the ball of hands, comes rolling into the clearing.
That's who Cuss was going for. Cuss was gonna find him and be like, help. Drag him to Quentin.
And the doctor sort of like climbs up onto your back with all the hands grabbing to like hold on, and you run over to Quentin.
Stops too fast. Probably goes tumbling off.
And the doctor looks down at Quentin and immediately
Oh
starts
no!
collecting planes.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
there we
good.
go.
I'm
Immediately
like,
starts.
no! I need to know if Quentin's okay!
Immediately starts collecting plants. Taking these aloe-looking things and slicing them open and laying different kinds of leaves across all of Quentin's laser burns. And Quentin comes back to consciousness with 1 hit point.
With Cuss entirely too close to his face.
And I think he wakes up and is like, dragon? And is like laying on his side, arms out. And then like looks up and is like, was it a mech?
I'm
No
not
idea.
sure Cuss knows what a mech is. So it just stays.
It's not
Like,
moving.
well, it's not doing things. When I get up, I'm gonna go look at it. But I'm gonna take a nap first.
Okay.
Has Rennie picked up the blue ball?
Yeah, I think Rennie's just kind of looking at it.
We'll point to that. We'll like pokes Quentin's forehead and then to the ball. Like, no, look at this.
And he'd look up at the ball and then would immediately start asking the balls questions. Like, where did you come from? What was your purpose? What did you originally do? What is your power source? Are you a power source? And like again, like laying on side, covered in burns, arms still out, in full oh no position, just asking questions to doesn't thank the doctor for saving his life. Doesn't even recognize that the doctor is there, is asking questions of the ball that the ball cannot answer.
Looks to
The
Rennie.
doctor rolls off in a different direction.
Yeah.
I think Cuss will kind of like headbutt the doctor gratefully, and then is gonna put nose to the ground and go try and find that guy.
You join the doctor in his search for this mysterious, unnamed old man with no limbs.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take too long to find him. I mean, he got thrown against a tree and got knocked out immediately. And so you find him about the same time as the doctor does, and you see him, the doctor that is only hands, grabs him, shakes his shoulders, nothing happens, and a third hand comes out and
Yes.
and the old man, what happened? What happened? What happened?
Dragon tried to kill us. Killed the dragon.
What? You broke it? But that was... I was to control the thing. Look, there was the slot that you were sitting on. It was perfectly fitted for my appendages, and it was perfect. It was going to work. All I needed was a few more parts, and now he sees the orb that has been removed from the dragon. What have you done? No! Now what is going to protect us from the predators at night? Yes, okay, you have a point. You have a very good point. Do you mind if I tag along?
Looks at Dr. T.
Also looks at Dr. T.
Looks at Quentin.
Also looks Quentin.
I mean, Quentin, while being able to be like upright and ambulatory, also covered in burns, and is just like, I'm just gonna lay here and drink this in. And then like looks at the doctor and was like, I thought we were building a mech.
It is a mech, but it only works for me, and I didn't want to tell you.
Why wouldn't you want to tell me? Like, I'm helping you build the thing.
I
And
thought
then
you wanted to
immediately-
pilot the thing,
We all want to turn in the mech.
No.
but it only
What's
works
the-
for
what-
me.
I mean, we can figure that out. And then like looks over at the doctor and is just like, right, I had questions for you. So if we built a mech thing, like there are all these like we could put extra controls in it for you, and then would immediately like start like asking questions about like, okay, so like it needs to have like a waste disposal thing. So where does the hose go? Like I know where the hose
Ooh.
goes on this guy, but like hands, where does the hose go? And like, do we need to have one of those things that like fills up with fluid and then like the fluid feeds you, or is there like a feeder hose that we could
He
and
rolls
just
away.
question?
Ah,
Yeah. Cuss will ignore. Look to Rennie.
yes.
Just
All right.
kind of pushes the guy over just to make sure he's not getting up, being a problem. Just,
Yeah, just bullies him, just like knocks him over, so like the little legs are go from like flat to this, and you're just like,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're not gonna bully people. That's what we're not gonna do. You two. Since I'm the one who did not die by the dragon, I'm
Yeah.
now in charge. Me and Dr. T.
and the only one with a brain.
So, like, fine. How about this? Quentin, you can help. What is your name?
Oh, I'm Dan.
Okay, Quentin, you can help Dan build a smaller thing you can control, not the big one. No, that's grounded. I'm keeping this and still holding the orb because you're grounded. So you two do your building things using parts from that. Cuss is going to supervise. And if you do anything bad, Cuss is ungrounded from doing the bitey and the scratchy thing.
Quentin is already like is mid climbing the dragon, spots the big holder bag, is like, who did this? Is this where the like the piloting thing? And then like falls into the hole that Cuss made. And you just hear like clanking sounds and rummaging sounds and sounds of things breaking.
Yeah.
And like you can't hear like clearly what he's saying, but you can tell that he's in there asking questions of the dragon. And he's like, hey, what does this do? Crunch. You probably needed that. I'm sorry, but and then but it all is coming out as mumbles because he's inside the dragon poking
Just
around.
this echoey mumbles as it reverberates off the metal walls.
Yes. Rennie's just gonna go after
And-
Dr. T.
Yeah.
Cuss is babysitting.
No, Cuss is climbing on top of the dragon, flopping down and taking a nap.
Yes.
There.
Just like turns 3 times, and it's his turn to be unconscious.
Again.
Very
And
sleepy.
as Rennie goes after Dr. T, Cuss takes a nap, and Quentin goes to investigate the coolest thing he's seen in his entire
very long
life,
time.
probably.
Actually, yeah.
The Dan lying on the ground. Hello? Can someone help me up? And that is where we are going to end our one shot for this evening. Oh, that was amazing. I love this shit. Thank you, everyone, for watching, especially to those of you who had the ability to donate. We really appreciate it. All these proceeds, as you may know, are going to help fund Tabletop Tailspinners production costs for a good long while. And they put out some. I mean, you're watching this channel. You know how amazing their shows are. It's fantastic. My fiance is her new obsession is All Our Faults, and for good reason. It's such a good show. So that's what these donations are going to. We still got a little bit of time. We're going to wrap up here pretty quickly. So you have until we are done doing our intros and telling you what we do and where to find us to donate before we call it a night. So, hi, I'm Dennis. I've been your game master this evening. You can find me on all the socials at okayestdm or okayest__DM. I run the YouTube channel, okayestdm, where I make mistakes running games so you don't have to. And I think I really, really want to take this one shot over to that channel and review it. And go through, because I did probably more improvising here than I've done in a good long while. So I want to like watch through, go through what my thought process was through some of my creative thinking, decision making, how I was resolving random wild shit that came up. And it'll probably be a live stream at some point. We'll see. I have no idea. But if you are interested in that, go follow OKSDM over on YouTube's. That's me. That's what I do. I also designed this game, but we don't need to talk about that. If you pay attention to socials, it's going to be very hype come fall. That's when the final version is going to be available, and it is going to be pay what you want. I'm unbelievably excited for it. I'm glad you all enjoyed watching it and playing it, and well, I ran it. I mean, I'm supposed to enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy running my own game, I wouldn't be trying to sell it to people. So, that's me. David, what do you do?
Hi, I'm David, also known as Full Rubber Ducky on Twitter or X or whatever we're typing into the search bar to get there now. I am one half of Chaotic Wholesome Presents, and you can find me with Kay doing stuff or doing talk show on Tuesday, and you could find me later on both next month and later on this year revealing all of the stuff that we are currently working on.
So what sort of stuff might that be, Kay, and where can people find you?
Hey, well, I am Kay Purcell, aka K Damphir. You could find me across the internets at Kdamphir, KAYDAMPHYR, or Chaotic Wholesome Presents, where I spend most of my time, because I'm the other half. Like David said, every Tuesday we do the Table Talk Show, which is all things TTRPGs from indies to intersectionality. Find me every other Wednesday at the Emergency Power Podcast, which is a homebrew Starfinder game where I play the worst individual in history. They're just a disaster queer, and we're trying to fix them. We've got some cool stuff coming up. A lot of it we can't talk about, but what I can talk about is we've got some really cool Pride charity games coming up here in the near future with some really, really awesome performers, and we're going to have a Juneteenth charity game as well, which I will obviously not be part of, but will be supporting in the background. And gosh, what else? I've got stuff coming out that you can find me over at Nerdsmith channel for until the end of the month on Thursday nights, where I am playing I'm playing George, who's a himbo con man over in the Grand Labyrinth Heist. And that game is chaotic and queer, so, you know, if that's your jam, come see us. We've already gotten 2 smooches. And that's what I got.
Amazing. And what about you, Diamond?
Hiya. I'm Madness Diamond, but since we're friends now, you can call me Diamond. I am a TTRPG actual play performer. I'm a writer technically. I am currently working with the lovely Valorous Gamings and Daylight Publications on 2 different projects for them, which should be coming out probably in the summertime, I think. And I'm also on a bunch of different streams. Mondays, you can find me over on The Starfield, where I am playing Soiree, the lovely Ragabash, Silverfang, playing Werewolf the Apocalypse, Guardians of Neptune's Cairn, a W5 Chronicle. And Tuesdays, you can find me over on the Dinner and a Games Twitch channel, where I play Bay, the very human hunter, who's jokingly called the Snack and or the Chew Toy. He's just very gay with a death wish. It's fine. There's nothing to worry about with the Martyr Creed going on. Absolutely not. And then on Thursdays, you can find me over on World Tree Quests, where I play in the lovely Son of Asgard's homebrewed world of Atuna, where we play Fathoms Below, where it's a completely underwater game, where I play Melusine Lusvestra, who is a Battlemaster Barbarian. So we're level 7, I got 95 hit points. I can almost survive a power word kill. It's my only goal. And yeah, right. And then if you follow me on my socials, everywhere I'm at Madness Diamond, unless you're looking for me on TikTok, I'm at Madness Diamond 2.0. And you can see the work that I do with different organizations, different charities, different fundraisers. I am a administrative coordinator for not only Dinner and a Game, so if you come jump into my DMs, I can probably hook you up with maybe an interview and or a one-shot if you want to run one for us. And then as well, I am also the self-appointed community manager for World Tree Quests. And then as well, I am also the administrative assistant for a nonprofit called Decrim 305. So if you're interested in working with me, come hit me up, slide into my DMs, and let's be friends.
So, like 1 or 2 things you got going on.
Just a couple. Don't think about my schedule.
Oh, God. Well, thank you all very much for playing, but there is one other person who I would like to thank specifically, and that is Zen. We would not have been able to do this without our amazing tech director. You did great. There were no problems, and I didn't have to worry about anything. It was it was very smooth. Thank you very much. That's it. That's all we got. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I would do my sign off, but it's not my channel, so
Thank you for the game.
Thank you for the game.
Thank you very much.
Lovely game. Thank you
And
for
thanks,
going
y'all.
off our crazy ideas.
Thank you, chatters, viewers. It was very fun. We needed that. The only reason I was able to do that final thing was because of that extra donated effort point.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that is it for us. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.